Welcome to this explainer. Okay, let's jump right in, because what we're looking at today is going to absolutely challenge everything you thought you knew about money. Have you ever noticed how the rules of wealth creation you were taught in school, work hard, save your pennies, be a good, quiet citizen, just don't seem to match up with reality? Well, what if the real rules of the game are completely hidden? Today, we're unpacking a radical, 500-year-old operating system inspired by Niccolò Machiavelli. We're going to show you exactly how to stop playing by those outdated schoolhouse rules and start playing for the real battlefield.
So you might be asking yourself, why does money seem to literally run away from me? You see these folks who are already wealthy effortlessly attracting more of it, almost like a magnet, while the hardworking people stay exactly where they are. Well, the source material completely validates this frustration. It argues that the system is, in fact, rigged. It's designed from the ground up to keep you as a hardworking, compliant citizen, basically just a cog in the machine, rather than the wealthy architect of your own life. It has nothing to do with a lack of intelligence. It's just that you've been playing with the wrong rulebook this whole time.
Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. 1. The system's great scam. 2. Master the value equation. 3. The power of leverage. 4. Ruthless focus and boundaries. 5. Build your wealth fortress. And 6. The end of hope. Let's get into it.
Section 1. The system's great scam. Let's look at the foundational lie.
Just look at the contrast between the old and the new operating systems. We are all taught to be the good citizen, right? We think if we just suffer enough, keep our heads down, and work ourselves to the bone, the world is eventually going to hand us a gold medal for our suffering. But the Machiavellian truth? It's entirely different. The universe does not reward good people, it rewards effective people. It rewards the people who know how to get results. The market honestly does not care how tired you are, it only cares about the impact you create. Moving on to Section 2, Master the Value Equation. We're talking about following the pain.
We have all heard that culturally beloved myth, haven't we? Follow your passion and the money will follow. Well, the source material brutally dissects this idea. Look, passion is great for a weekend hobby, but the market does not pay for your passion. The market pays for solved problems. Think about it for a second. Why does a heart surgeon make significantly more than a floor cleaner? They both work incredibly hard. The real difference is the level of pain they solve. A dirty floor is an irritation. A stopped heart is death. To generate massive wealth, you absolutely must solve painful, desperate, and expensive problems.
Which brings us to this crucial point, perfectly summarized in a quote directly inspired by Machiavelli. Make yourself so necessary that the system cannot run without you. People constantly want to be loved by their boss or their clients, but love is unstable. A boss who loves you is still going to fire you if budget cuts happen. But if you are strictly needed because you hold all the client relationships, or you're the only one who knows the code, or you bring in the major revenue, you become bulletproof. Don't seek love in business, seek to be indispensable. Now, to be truly indispensable, you need an unfair advantage. And this introduces the concept of asymmetry. You've got to abandon this idea of playing a fair game. The source explains that a traditional job is symmetrical, meaning you have a capped downside, but you also have a completely capped upside. Machiavellian players, on the other hand, look for asymmetry. They look for bets where they might lose a little bit of time or money, but the upside could permanently change their lives. You need to find your spike, that one specialized skill or unfair advantage, and attack the market's absolute weakest point. Don't try to be well-rounded, be lethal at one specific thing.
Section 3. The power of leverage. This is about moving beyond brute force.
Let's compare the donkey versus the fox mindset. The donkey genuinely believes wealth comes from sheer exhaustion, just working day and night carrying heavy stones until they literally collapse, all for a fixed hourly rate. But hey, if hard work alone created wealth, donkeys would own the farm and construction workers would be billionaires. The fox, however, observes the system. The fox understands the rules, identifies the hidden traps, and finds strategic shortcuts. The fox knows that real wealth comes from detaching your physical presence from your income.
So how exactly does the fox do this? Through 3 main forms of leverage. First up, labor leverage. Instead of carrying the stones yourself, you hire 10 donkeys to do it and take a commission. Second is capital leverage, letting money work for you, like borrowing from the bank to just buy the whole farm outright. And third, the modern holy grail, code and media leverage. This is writing a piece of software or a script once and having it reach millions of people while you are fast asleep. You have to build the machine, guys, not just be a cog stuck inside it.
Section 4, Ruthless Focus and Boundaries. Time to manage your image. Let's dive into Rule 3, control the perception. Imagine Consultant A. This person is an absolute genius, but dresses sloppily, acts desperate for work, and replies to emails in 2 seconds flat. Then you have Consultant B, who is honestly just average, but projects premium confidence, speaks slowly, is super hard to reach, and charges 10 times more. Who gets the massive contract? Consultant B. Why? Because humans are hierarchical creatures. We instinctively assign higher value to those who project high status, have firm boundaries, and simply aren't desperate. You don't get paid what you're worth, you get paid what people perceive you're worth.
And taking control of your environment leads us right into Rule 4. Cut off the weak links. The source material basically warns that poverty is a virus. It's spread by tolerant people who allow victim-minded friends to hang around in their inner circle. If you surround yourself with people who constantly complain about the economy or who always prioritize safety over freedom, you are going to absorb their mentality. And this absolutely applies to noise too. Consuming rage-inducing, highly distracting social media content literally poisons your focus. You have to ruthlessly cut off anything and anyone that doesn't add value to your future.
This level of ruthlessness extends directly into negotiation. It is much safer to be feared than loved. Society tries to teach us that rich people are greedy villains and poor people are noble. But in reality, excessive niceness in a negotiation is basically just donating your money to strangers who really don't care about you. You must be willing to enforce contracts, say no without apologizing, and be totally fine with being misunderstood or being called greedy by people who are struggling.
Now, this mindset also completely shifts how you weaponize your time. Enter the effective hourly rate. If your ultimate financial goal makes your time worth, let's say, $400 an hour, then doing a $5, actually scratch that, doing even a $50 chore yourself, like cleaning your own house just to save a few bucks, is literally burning money. Poor people sell their time. Wealthy people buy time. You have to start treating your time like a king protects his treasury. So the sequence to actually buy back your life is crystal clear. Step 1, outsource. Step 2, automate. Step 3, eliminate. People will always say, but I can't afford to hire help. The Machiavellian response to that is, you can't afford not to. For as long as you are trapped doing low-value tasks, you will never, ever have the mental bandwidth to build those high-leveraged machines we were talking about earlier. Section 5. Build your wealth fortress. This is all about protecting the money. Because the brutal truth is, the entire world is engineered to drain your money. The government wants it through taxes, corporations want it through endless consumerism and flashy advertisements. Inflation slowly eats away its value. Even your friends and family are going to ask for favors. If you make $100,000 a year and you spend $100,000, you are not rich. You are simply a highly paid conduit, a pipe that money just flows through. True wealth is only what actually stays in the reservoir. And there is a massive difference here between being a slave and being free. Look, if you buy a luxury car directly with your hard-earned labor, you literally become a slave to that car. You have to keep grinding day in and day out just to pay it off and maintain it. The wealthy player, the free individual, buys an asset first, like real estate or a cash-flowing business, and lets the income from that asset pay for the luxury. The asset does the hard work, not you. Part of protecting that fortress is mastering stealth wealth. True power is silent. The source points out a great truth here. The loudest guy in the room, the one flashing the designer watch and throwing cash around, is usually the one drowning in the most debt. The eagle, on the other hand, soars silently. Keep your mouth shut, protect your liability, and buy freedom. The freedom to just sleep in on a Tuesday if you feel like it, rather than buying the empty approval of strangers. Which brings us to Section 6, the end of hope. Because, spoiler alert, no savior is coming.
Rule 9 dictates very plainly that hope is not a strategy. You have to completely dispel the illusion that a savior is coming for you. The government is not coming to save you. A lottery ticket is certainly not a financial plan. Depending on luck, that's for the weak. You have to strip away all those messy emotions like fear, guilt, and pride, and just look at the board objectively. A real plan is just a sequence of deliberate actions. Identify a pain, provide a solution, charge for it, buy assets, and repeat. It's not glamorous at all. In fact, it's boring, it's repetitive, and it is entirely up to you. So we end this explainer with one final provocative question. Are you ready to be the architect? The source issues a really stark warning here. Once you finally see the puppet strings, you can no longer go back to being a puppet. Taking this path means you'll probably relate a lot less to your old friends, and you might even experience the isolation that comes with wealth long before you experience its true liberation.
It takes immense, unwavering discipline to execute this blueprint. The rules are clear, the system has been exposed, but the ultimate choice of whether you're going to build the machine or remain a cog inside it, well, that's entirely yours. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the